Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Shout out to Nicole Makes Vlogs, Nell Miranda, and Fabulous Im's Vlogs. How's everybody doing? And let me check my audio to see if the levels are good. Alright, cool. Sounds good. Let me mute this. Good to see everyone. Hope you're having an amazing evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is by the time you watch this video. So, as you can see from the title of this stream, I'm planning to go ahead and do some Final Cut Pro editing with everyone here, just to, have some fun, hanging out and doing what I'm passionate about, which is making some cool edits of drone footage to share as vertical reels. That's kind of been my focus of my video creation here recently, and obviously I'm just still learning through the process. It's like, seems like every other day that I find something very basic that I'm not doing with my editing, but yeah, that's just how it is. Finally caught a stream. School's back in, but we back on God. That's right. I know, we're back. There was a while for me, Jay, before, during the holidays, I was like, I can't even stream. I don't even know how I can fit in a stream with what I was doing. So, you just gotta find the flow. And anyway, I've been wanting to stream. I did a stream the other day for like a birthday grand live stream, which was super fun because we did a stream like Filipino/English stream, which is always great and makes me feel like I don't know what's going on since I'm not too good with the Tagalog, but that was fun and been wanting to get back to streaming. So I was back home in Dallas, Texas for like a week or so I didn't have my normal setup. I didn't really want to stream from I don't even know if I can stream from the old. I have like a 2013 MacBook Pro and it's literally falling apart. I could show you. Look at that. It's like coming undone. That's all I had on me. And yeah, I did go and fly my drone like pretty much every day I was in Dallas, and I got some good shots. Yesterday I created like 4 different shorts from it, and since I'm working on them every day, I figured that I might as well do it live, even though, it's a little bit added challenge because I'm trying to like socialize and stuff, and it is a challenge for me to not get distracted, but I think in general streaming is like a fun challenge for me. That's kind of how I see it. So, and it's just a way that I can kind of provide value beyond creating the like cool looking footage. Maybe I can provide something to where you can, if you're interested in being a content creator, or if you currently create shorts, maybe it's not drone footage, but it could still be pertinent, the things that we're talking about and that we're doing. I definitely would say that my approach to working on video is quickly upgrading and evolving as I learn more, and that my style is still kind of developing. I'll go for like a really clean style with no effects, no transitions for a while, and then I start feeling that urge to go back into doing some of the experimental stuff, and then I'll like completely forget on certain things I should be doing to color grade, And then I'm like, oh wait, I need to be doing that. So I don't know what you did to this, but you look way too pretty in this video. What is this? Oh, hey, that's the golden hour lighting. That's probably why. There's a reason why videographers always film at sunset or sunrise, Jay. It's just... it's kind of infuriating at times too, because you have what, like a 2 hour... well, you have a 2 hour window, one at morning, one at night, maybe a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit longer, to get that best lighting. But it's like you have to be filming right then, you know? So there's always this angst when I'm going out filming during that time, because I know I have such a limited window to catch that best lighting. So other times, you know, you end up filming at other times too and getting other conditions which may not look as like pretty naturally, but you can kind of fake it with color grading, like maybe if it's cloudy or maybe if it's full light, as long as you don't film when the sun is just directly overhead, because I don't know, it just makes everything look ugly. Just that pure harsh top-down lighting. But anyway, one of the reasons why I'm so into doing hyperlapses is that you have this hugely extended window. So you can start filming slightly before golden hour all the way until like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours until after the sun's gone down. And not only that, you can keep filming all through the night, especially if there's like a full moon and if there's clouds or if there's city light that kind of, you know, just have this diffused light. It opens up your window of when you can film. So yeah, I figured I would just chill here for a little bit before I dive into it, just to give people some time to show up on the stream. And I've gone through a pretty big percentage of the stuff I have from Dallas, so I just have a little bit of stuff to go through. Another thing I could do is also kind of talk through ones that I've already completed and show how I do that. And I'm also going to talk about things like how to loop the music well. At least one approach that's been working for me recently with how to loop the audio in these shorts, as well as talk about like color grading, talk about transitions, talk about frame rate. What else? Maybe effects. It really depends on... I don't tend to have an idea for how I want to do an edit before I start. It's a lot of improvisation and just pulling it up. And I go off of intuition a lot, like, or just what I'm feeling in the moment, like for the music choice and stuff like that. And I try to just create it, get through it, and not get bogged down in the perfectionism, because I'm naturally perfectionistic and I'll just spend days on something and eventually end up just not liking the process at all. And that's been working well. So I think I'm through probably like 40 shorts now in the past couple months. So yeah, let's see. I wonder, it's been forever since I've streamed with OBS too, but let's see. Is this... wait, no, that's not right. Ermino! Thumbs up, brother. Thank you so much, Ermin. Good to see you. So, what I'm trying to find here... I used to have a scene for... what is this? Yeah, I think I can use this right here. Although, this should not be in the background. Let's see. Image... huh. Alright, let me just re-add this thumbnail in the background. Yeah. And then webcam. That's not how I want it. Hold up. Let's get this situated. Done share, Yahoo, mega shout out. Mega love shout out to all. Thank you, Ermin. Okay, that's decent. Make myself a little smaller. And then yeah. Alright, so now I'm gonna mute this background music because I wanna be able to hear the music that we're doing with editing. And I did test that before, but let me just make sure this is coming through. Alright, yeah, it seems like it is. Let me just lower that a little bit. Let me see, how's that level? Fun times streaming. Alright, sweet. I think that's good. So, yeah. Let's see. So, the first off thing as we're getting into it is I could just kind of talk through some of the ones that I've already completed, and maybe we could get something from that. So, obviously, I am using Final Cut Pro 10 here. This is a Mac only program. It's my main editing software, and you can apply some of the things I'm going to talk to whatever editing program you use. So let me go through this ridiculous amount of projects and see. So when I was going to edit these two shots right here, I had these two different hyperlapses. One was stationary, looking towards downtown Dallas, and then one is an orbit that's kind of facing perpendicular to it. Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. Yeah, shout out to Ermino and shout out to Fabulous M's for helping me co-host my birthday live stream the other day. That was a good time. Make sure you support Ermin and Fabulous M's. So, okay. So this hyperlapse is looking perpendicular. And what I'm working in is, right now it's in a 4K vertical project. You really could be working in even 720. It depends on what your computer can handle. For me, I have a beefed up setup that I got to be able to do crazy video editing, so I can, handle working in 4K. And it actually does matter because this footage that I'm using is 4K and it's kind of zoomed in on, so I want to keep it as high quality as I can. I like to future-proof my content. I want it to look really good, like in 10 years from now, once 4K is the standard. You don't need a working 4K. There's probably no reason to. I just do it because I like to. So I basically have these two hyperlapses, and the first thing that I've noticed with a stationary hyperlapse like this is that it's good to zoom it in to provide some motion, because I could show you what it's like if I just were to reset this and say that it's like at its final zoom in, right? And it's just this instead. That looks good. And I just feel like it's more engaging if you have it providing some motion if it's stationary. And this is kind of a creative choice. Pitch blacks in 720p look horrible. Yeah, what do you mean by that? I'm just like I'm a quality snob, so that's why I always work in ridiculous resolutions, even though it's not really necessary. So anyway, I had it kind of zoom in, and I've started doing this technique where you have a larger version of the canvas in the background. In this case, I did a bunch of layers of it, and it just has a Gaussian blur on it in order to make it really, blurred. It kind of like tricks the eye into thinking that this image fills up more of the canvas than it does while retaining like a wider view. I kind of got that idea from seeing like auto CapCut edits, which is a TikTok editing program. It would kind of do a similar effect, and I was like, oh wait, I'm not sure exactly how it does it, but started doing that. And then basically this is the main point of this short, this orbiting shot right here. So the first two, what is this? 2 second is really like an intro to the shot. Thing is that usually people are gonna, and by the way, y'all can all share your projects, connect with each other, support each other while I'm going through this. And you can also ask any questions if you have any. So basically, this is the point of this short right here. And before, I would always zoom in to any shot I was using so that it filled the whole screen, because I didn't like any black or any outside space outside of the shot. But I just started experimenting with it and really liking what it looks like, because on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube Shorts, wherever you're posting shorts, probably Facebook Reels too, like wherever the feed is that you're going through, there's oftentimes some like text or icons or something going on the edges or on the top and bottom especially. So it really doesn't hurt often to have it be cropped where you have some dead space on top and bottom. And this idea with Gaussian blurring a larger copy of it below it is just a different option, because then it actually has at least some color and gradient to it, but still gives the idea that it's filling up the space and you're not missing any detail if it's hidden by text. Anyway, and it has this effect, say it's this cropped in, right? Like actually only a third of the frame is the shot and the other 2/3 are blank space, and it has this kind of isolating effect where it draws your eye to the center. You can see the pixels on pitch black and 720p. Also, putting 4K in the title in your YouTube videos, having the little 4K tag on it, makes it a lot more clickable. Yeah, absolutely. That's true, Jay. I actually need to remember to tag 4K more. Nicole is nosebleeding from the English. My apologies for that, Nicole. Let me see. When are you streaming, Airman? Is this your past stream, Airman? Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of 720 at all. That's for sure. Anyway, it has this isolating effect. It's another reason why I try to make stuff in 4K. Now, to be clear, Instagram, most other places other than YouTube don't support 4K Reels at all. And most monitors are not even close to being able to display 4K Reels, because you would need a monitor that can actually turn vertically, which no one really has. There are some smart TVs that can pivot vertically, but that's rare. But again, kind of for me, it's future proofing, and I used to even hate the vertical format. It's just what things use, so that's, why I use it. Anyway, so it has this isolating effect to have that blank space, and what I did was, it's zooming in slowly, and then towards the end, I have these Gaussian blurred, kind of presents the illusion that it's zooming in to fill the whole space. After this like few seconds of being isolated, then it kind of zooms in to fill all that space. So that was my thought process behind creating this, and I can show more how to make the audio loop when we create one from scratch like I'm going to do in a little bit. But basically what I tend to do these days is I zoom way into whatever track that I'm using, and I'm going to go one frame. I work in 60 frames per second, and I just go one frame before a downbeat hits, right at the beginning of the music, and then cut it there. And then what you need to do is figure out how many beats or bars your short is going to be. So even if you're not musically trained, you can still do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's 3 bars, and then there's 1 bar that's like a build up before. Well, yeah. Anyway, it's before a drop. So this is a 4-bar loop that's gonna feel natural because this is 4/4. So what I did here was, if I could put this aside and you can hear what it sounds like without this. So what I've started doing is as soon as I cut for where the loop is going to end, I tend to take the audio that would come after and put it at the beginning. So if this was looped like this is without the loop, right? This is where the music goes on its own. So if I lined it up correctly, then it's gonna match over this. And there's gonna be less of a click noise when it loops. It's gonna make a clean loop. Like I can simulate it here if I just copy everything. Why is that not snapping? Okay, that's good. So I can simulate the loop by just copying it 2 times. That was the loop. So it's pretty clean. And in this one I got lucky because the shots, it's almost the same shot where it loops, even though that was a separate hyperlapse. So it loops really cleanly. This was the first iteration. Then pretty much what I did after exporting that is I took that version of it, and I didn't like all these sharp lines right here that were caused by having multiple Gaussian blurred versions of this footage below it. I want it to just be smooth. So what I did was export this, oops, wrong project. Export that whole thing and make sure that you export it in like ProRes, at least some type of ProRes, either 422 or HQ or 4444, just so you're not losing data when you're exporting it and it's getting compressed. And then you just make a copy of it below it where I added another Gaussian blur. So now you can see those lines are not, you can kind of see them if you look really closely. There's still lines there, but they're blurred and blended together. And then so this is a copy that has a blur on the bottom, on the top. I'm using a shape mask right here to basically make sure this whole central portion is completely clear. Obviously I don't want that being blurred. And then you can keyframe the different parameters of the shape mask so that, see, as your image is going up, it's also going up. And then same thing is going on here. So just makes this smooth and makes it look a lot better. And then after that, my workflow is I like to upscale it, or at least use Topaz Video Enhance to denoise it and sharpen it up, which is again overkill, but it's what I like to do. And what do I do on this one? I think I just I'm not sure what I did on this iteration. I don't see any like adjustments. Oh, this was just something for fixing like a frame not being rendered, I think. But that's about it for this reel. And then the biggest adjustment that, and this is the version after it's been upscaled. I'm gonna go ahead and render this if it's not. Let me actually check as well if I'm dropping frames here. No frames drop. That's really good. Sweet. Let's see if, wonder if the stream will lag while I'm rendering video though. This computer is a beast. It's actually insane how much stuff it can handle. But basically the biggest adjustment I did to it after it had been upscaled by Topaz was that I just added some more saturation to it because I want it to be a little bit more colorful. And then the biggest, most important thing was I added a color curve here, which I've been kind of getting lazy and forgetting to do this. And in some footage, it really matters a lot. So in this one, you can see that if I don't have the color curve that I added, it's just very dark. So the whole top side, this is Luma, like this is the brightness of your shot. I would always pull the very top of the Luma a tiny bit down so that no highlights are to pure white, and then pull the bottom of it a tiny bit up so that none of the shadows are to pure black. And then that's all I would usually do. I just noticed that the auto enhance, yeah, I do use that in Final Cut. It's hue saturation curves right here, and you can do a lot of different things here. So basically what you're talking about is, Jay, is hue versus hue. So like I could use this eyedropper, find this hue, and I could actually turn that blue into green by pulling it up. Or I could pull it and turn it into like purple or reddish. That's hue versus hue. Then you can like desaturate just only certain colors. So if I'm like, oh, I hate this orange being this bright, I can grab that orange and I can pull that out. As you can see, that like kind of destroys the image because there's so much orange in there. Or vice versa, if you want to pull the orange way up, you can do that. So hue saturation is really good. It's more of a like advanced edit, not really the main part of what you're doing. But yeah. But on this one, the color curves is what they call it, was really important because the image was so overall dark that I pulled a lot of the whole spectrum up towards white. Because I just noticed when I uploaded it to TikTok and I turned on the auto enhance feature, it looks so good. I was like, how did it make it so bright? And I realized that it was pretty much just doing this, just pulling up a lot of the Luma up, which all that would mean is like the colors that are close to white, close to the brightness of like pure highlights, they're almost up to that pure white as well. And then the other ones are pulled up in a curve as well. And the great thing about doing this with color curves is that you're never going to actually overexpose or underexpose it, as long as you have the very top below the maximum and the bottom above the maximum. So you can see on this this Luma graph, everything is within 0 and 100, which are the extremes for what can show up on videos, which is what we want to see. So that is my very long-winded explanation of how I created that last one. You're welcome. So let me know if any of you have any questions about that. I'm just gonna take a break because when I sit in the software for extended periods of time, I start getting what's the word? Vertigo. The graph looks so much cooler than yours. What do you use, Jay? I know I talked to you about this before. I personally love Final Cut. I'm gonna learn how to use Premiere, Adobe Premiere this year just because it's more of a standard. But I'm kind of dreading it because every time I've seen screenshots of Premiere, I'm like, it just looks overcomplicated, unnecessarily like ugly interface, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Harang host. Thank you so much, Leonila. Shout out to Leonila Herames, aka Miss Flawless. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está, Leonila? And Nicole. A light motion on Chromebook? Okay. I haven't heard of that one. But really, the software that you use to edit is not the most important thing at all. Obviously. The most important thing is just practicing. And what will happen is, just like, create your videos, create your projects, and then watch tutorials on how to do certain things. What I would recommend, watch like your favorite creators on YouTube, or even your favorite shows, like TV shows, movies, and like pay attention to the effects and just see what would you want to use in your videos, and then try to figure out how you would make that happen. And what's going to occur, it's average but with smooth keyframes if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, if you have keyframes, and as long as you have, like, it sounds like already you have access to HSL, and you don't need like all the bells and whistles to make a good edit. Here, host while cooking lunch. Oh, awesome. Have a good lunch, Leonila. Yeah, now it's 10 a.m. for Philippines, I think. But yeah. I love editing. It's really fun for me. I just go into the zone, get into the zone, and I really feel like it's like painting on a canvas. Like, same thing with doing like hyperlapses and stuff, and just drone footage, because although you're just capturing the world, the way that you frame it and compose your shot, it's somewhat more like being a painter. Definitely gonna do some really cool projects this year. I have all this past footage that I need to get through, but it's like a lot of it wasn't filmed that well, so it's just all a learning process. Cooking pork caldereta. Do you eat pork? Yeah, I do. I eat meat. Alright, I guess I should dive in and we can create something new on stream. So this is where I'll really show my creative process. Jay says, editing is the best when it comes out better than the planned picture you have in your head. Yeah, absolutely. And it's terrible when you hate the result. It's like, I'm so over this. But I've noticed that's a good sign that I need to just take a break off editing. Okay, so let's do this from scratch and figure out what we're gonna make and brainstorm what it should be like. Now which thing was I using? I have way too many. Okay. Final Cut Pro. I have too many scenes in OBS. There's like 10 million of them. It's kind of confusing. All right. So let's go back to the normal default view. By the way, I do recommend, I did this on someone else's advice, set up a new workspace for your like color grading, and I call it color flow. Sadly, I don't think there's a way to make a keyboard shortcut for your like custom your custom workspace, but you can just come over here and click it and then go back to the default, which is where you can see the library and everything, right? So the way that I have it set up is I just have the Luma graph. Like you can turn on histogram, waveform. I'm just used to looking at I don't even really need this vector scope here, to be honest. Like, I don't find it that useful. The Luma graph is the most important thing. Maybe I should just make it the Luma. Wait, what? Oh no, I'm gonna ruin. I don't know what's going on. All right. Anyway, so let's create something from scratch. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I really should create a new library because there's 10 million projects in here. So I guess I'll do that. Begrudgingly do that. It's really the best habit to make a new library for every single project just so things don't like lag and get bogged down. But let's see, what is this? I think this is the 9th Dallas reel right here. 10.2. Just name it. And I'm going to put it in this disk. The Dallas reels. Boom. And then I'm going to get the media that I wanted to use for this, which is let's see. Well, I have a few options actually. So I'm going to just drag these 3 in. I'm also going to pull in, what else? This one. This is the one I was really thinking of doing, which is the Reunion Tower in Dallas. And then along with these, I have some just normal drone shots, normal video. See which is the one that I was thinking of using. Probably this one. Pull that in. And then just create a new project. DR9. I have a certain naming set up for this. Alright, let's see. What am I missing? Shout out to Leonilla, shout out to Jay, shout out to Ermino, shout out to Nicole Mix Vlog. Alright. By the way, guys, I do have a channel membership now. $5 a month. No pressure to sign up for it, but that is an option to support the channel. I really appreciate it, and you do get some perks. I'm going to start making some of these live streams only, the replay only for members, so anyone can watch it live, but then you have to be a member to watch the replay of it. Just little perks like that. You can click join and see all of the stuff that you get for it. Really appreciate it if you decide to do that, but again, no pressure. I already appreciate you just watching and sharing the videos and stuff like that. So anyway, I just make a new project, and this is kind of like the daunting part at times, right? Because you just have this raw footage. Like there's one hyperlapse. Obviously it's shaky. It needs to be stabilized. And it's also like horizontal. I'm making a vertical project. These are other ones from a different day, different angle. Now you're faced with tricky decisions like, what do I put together? How many clips should I use? How long should it be? All this stuff. So This to me is kind of like the hardest part of editing, is right when you just have raw stuff and you're like just looking at it. But that's what I would recommend, is kind of like in Final Cut, you can have on the picture scrub like this where you can go through it quickly. You can also just turn it on like, I don't know, 8x speed, so you can kind of watch through. Oh, okay, this is what the shot looks like. I'm zooming towards the Reunion Tower. That's pretty cool. And then when I get there, it just pans to the right. Okay, and then this one, it rises up really shakily, stays up, and then it goes back down. And then I have another shot that is also kind of in this scene, but I've used it in a previous reel. And I try to only use shots once for the most time for now. Wait, what? This is, wait, hold on, something is really wrong. This is not what the screen is meant to look like right now. Oh. Wait, what is happening? Oh! Something is wrong here. It's not supposed to be Lumo in here. I apologize for that looking all weird. Yeah, I need to turn this Luma keyer off. You're not supposed to be able to see through. Okay. Although it kind of looked cool, but... So anyway. Yeah. So just getting the shots that you're going to use, kind of looking at them, and having it in a project that's... Oops. It's actually wrong. New. That was in the wrong frame rate. Now, one annoying thing about Final Cut is you can't actually modify the frame rate while you're in the project or while you have clips in there. And sometimes this annoying thing is happening as well, where when you paste it from another project, whoops. I think Final Cut just died. Fun times with computers. Final Cut Pro, quite unexpectedly. So let's go back. Guess I should have this music on in the background while we're chilling before we pick music. All right. All right, so what I'm gonna do is drag this in again and then just make sure that I pick the right thing this time, which is 60 frames per second on vertical 4K. Once I have that established, then I can paste these clips behind it and it's not going to modify the project's characteristics. It's just a weird quirk with Final Cut. So then you can confirm, just click on there, okay, vertical 4K, 60, awesome. Sweet. So now I'm going to get rid of this clip because I'm not going to actually use this in this reel. And now I need to just decide like what type of music do I want to go for with this reel. And there's always a good variety of stuff that could work with a reel. It's more like what's your branding or your channel, or what do you like, and then within the spectrum of what you like or what fits with your content creation, what would go best with this? So those are some questions to ask. For me, when I look at this, I kind of like the idea of something industrial, but you know, you can always, there's some things that are always go-tos, like you can always just go to like lo-fi hip-hop, always works. Ambient always works. Cinematic will work as long as the footage actually does look epic, because if you use really epic music on a shot that's not that epic looking, it's pretty lame. So the next thing that I would do here is, let's see. I hate this. I have to make sure that I don't leak information. Let me open a new tab or a new window. Okay. Okay, sweet. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is go to Chrome, and I'm literally just gonna go to hashtag not sponsored by Artlist, but I love Artlist. This is how I get all my music, including the background music that you hear playing right now. I really like it because you pay a one-time fee to get access to this entire library of music, and you can use it as many times as you want in any video projects as long as you have your subscription. So to me, that works a lot better than licensing stuff one time. I literally can't afford to pay like $30 for every track that I use for one video. It's just not feasible. So I definitely recommend Artlist. Let me pause this music and let's just look for some music. So again, just to like get in my mind, this is the footage that we're looking for music for. Unedited. And yeah, so let's see. I think I would go with like, I feel like doing something industrial. Industrial is not a tag on here though, so guess I'm really looking for electronic. No. Wait. Oh wait, y'all can't probably hear this. Wait. I don't think y'all are gonna be able to hear this music. Oh yeah, you can. Imagine if I use that. Alright, I think y'all can hear that. Let me check. Alright, sweet. It does come through. That is dope. Okay. No. It's too cheese. I need something that's industrial but not this cheesy. I'm not gonna lie, I could see myself using that. So keep in mind, bro, I just let YouTube block my videos in random third world countries nobody's ever heard of for copyright. Yeah. Valid approach. So one thing to keep in mind when you're finding music for a reel, like you literally are going to be using like a few seconds. So you don't need the whole song to be cool. You just need to find that one part that would be cool to use. I might use this just because it's funny and it's like not the usual type of thing that I use. So let's try it out. Why not? Again, you just need to find a few seconds. So why am I working on this audio right now before I even do any editing? Because for me, the audio steers the entire edit. Like the audio is probably the most important thing because it's the most visceral thing. The way that the audio syncs up and emphasizes the video edits is what creates the like overall effect. So I've learned to do this first before doing any edits at all, because I'm going to sync it up to the music. So I need to find, like, when I'm looking at this reel is probably going to be like 10 seconds at the most. So I got to see what part of this audio I might want to use. Alright, maybe that part right after this build up, because then the build up can be put at the end of the loop. But let's just see how long it is. So starting right here. Right here is... Wait, let's actually find where this... Kind of hard to find the attack. Usually, like, you see these peaks right here in the audio, that's usually where a beat is, right? But there's a lot going on right here, so it's kind of difficult to find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's here. Maybe here. So I'm gonna cut. That should be good. So pull this to the beginning. Let's see how long this part is. Second bar, third bar, fourth bar. So like 10, 11 seconds, exactly what I need, the amount that I need, right? So since I cut that right before the downbeat, at the end of that build up, I need to cut the next part right before the downbeat of 4 musical bars. It should be there somewhere. Okay, that looks like the attack. This little thing looks like the attack of that beat. So think right there. And again, you can't like get it precise, but one reason I like working with 60 frames a second is you can get it a lot more exact than you can in 24. For the life of me, I can't understand why people are so obsessed with 24 frames a second. I don't like it at all. I like working in 60 frames a second. I disagree with a lot of people that are so obsessed with 24. Like almost every video course I've ever taken is completely obsessed with 24. And it's like this cinematic standard that all films use, but I just prefer faster frame rates regardless of how there's a lot of reasons why other people like 24. But if I work in a 60 frames per second project, I have the flexibility where I can use 30 frames a second footage, which I often do in these reels. So speed it, slow it down by half. If I really want the 24 frames per second look, even though it's technically not exact, I can slow it down to 40% and I can get that shuddery effect. 24 frames per second is like right on the edge of your eyes, perceiving whether something is a smooth animation or if it's a sequence of videos. That's the film standard, 24 frames a second. The real reason why it's so low in actuality is to save file size, to save room on tapes. Less images per second means less that you have to store whenever you're filming. So that was really the main reason. And then these days there's a lot of justifications that people have why they think it looks aesthetically better. I don't really agree. I like higher frames per second, but a lot of it is what you're used to, right? So video games are always going to be high frames per second and look better high frames per second, because otherwise you're going to get a headache playing a video game that's like really shuddery. TV, soap operas, all that stuff is going to be higher frame rate. Like news and stuff is usually 30 frames a second. And that's why a lot of people think that 30 frames a second looks cheesy or it has a soap opera effect, or same goes with 60. But if you're used to always seeing it, like I'm mainly not watching film, I'm mainly watching YouTube videos and other things like that. But a lot of the YouTubers that are usually into film, they all use 24. And I've tried to get myself to like it. I just don't. I just don't like how it looks. So there's the long explanation for why I work in 60. Afternoon all. Hello John. Shout out to John Noble, a fellow drone pilot, I believe. And Jay also said, bro, that sounds like Saints Row if you ever played it. I haven't played it, but I'll take your word for it. So after going through that whole frame rate rabbit hole, what I'm going to do now, after I figured out where the attack of this audio loop should be, is I'm going to move this audio out of the way, all the rest of it, and I'm just going to add some extra space here so this stuff's not in the way, and then I'm going to duplicate this audio and just see how this loop is. Yeah, and the loop's good. You know, it's probably off by a few milliseconds. I can't really help that. The only thing I could do is like, do I like it if there's one less frame? Chop off that one frame. Put this here and see how this is. That might be better. Yeah, it seems good to me. So, again, you don't have to have this completely perfect. When things loop in Instagram or, oh, I forgot that my picture is actually covering up the clips. That's not really good. Let me move my webcam somewhere else. Over here. So then I can block something else over there. But anyway, probably better. So I apologize for that you couldn't see the clips that I was working with, what I was doing there. But yeah, basically that's gonna work. So I end up with an edit that's 10 seconds and 41 frames. Again, I'm working in 60 frames per second. And I haven't done anything to the video whatsoever. This is just getting the clean audio edit that I want. So wait. The next thing I would do to the audio is I'm going to take the part that happened before, in the music that happened before this loop started. So the way this music actually was like this. Pull this here. There was this build up. Right? So I'm starting right after that build up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part with the build up. And I'm going to put it where basically it lines up with where it would be. Like it would be right here, right before this, right? So when it loops, this is going to be right before it. But if I play it back right now, it's really like peaking in the red because obviously I have two audio clips playing and I need to doctor this audio to make it more smooth. So what I'm going to do is decide where this should start fading out and this should start fading in, which is right here, the last bar. So I'm going to make a keyframe, 0 decibels. I'm going to make it go to 0. I'm going to make it go to negative infinity right there. And then this, I'm going to start fading in. And I recommend always, yes, of course you can promote your Premiere, Leonilla. That's completely fine. I'm going to pin that. Yeah, feel free to like share your projects or ask me any questions or anything in the chat. So I'm just going to fade this build up in. What I recommend is always have it go to the full volume before the other ones faded out, because otherwise you're going to have a dip in the audio that sounds unnatural. So that sounds pretty good already. So now if I loop this, you're going to see like it's really clean, and it seems like the music is supposed to be like this. And again, don't pay attention to the video because I haven't done anything with the video yet. So it sounds a lot more purposeful. It sounds like the music is actually created like this, like that it's a loop, not just audio, right? So you're kind of composing when you're doing this. It helps to have some musical knowledge, but you don't have to be Mozart to do this. So now that we have that clean loop, and I know the amount of space I'm working with, now let's talk about actually creating the video of the reel. And I know I'm going slowly through this. This is a lot slower than I would do it in person because it takes longer to explain it than it does to just do it. I'm actually going to pull this clip in, even though I've used a bit of this in another one, because I think I want to just do a super fast speed up. I know I have this clip that's a little bit in the same area looking. Jay said I got to go to bed, test and stuff, but I'll be back next stream probably. Cheers, man. Happy New Year, by the way. Third degree burn time. Yeah, everybody spam the 3rd degree burn emote. Thanks for coming by, man. Hope your year's off to a good start. So sweet. Basically now I'm gonna just do... The reason I like this shot is I like how you can kind of get a sense of where we are before we actually do the main reel. And I'm going to make an exception for the fact that I don't like to reuse shots for this one, because I just, since I have this, I think this basically shows you where we are. And it's going to be a super... Actually though, I might put this at the end where it's doing that build up. That might work better, because a riser is kind of good with really fast motion. So again, these are just the questions, and there's video subjective, so there's no one right answer. So I have to decide, what do I want people to see right when they watch this, right? Okay, so people are scrolling through a feed. What is going to catch their attention? What are they going to want to see? So probably this hyperlapse, even though right now it looks pretty bad because it's really shuttery. And I'll probably have this be one long thing. So I think I want to start with this, and it's actually going to work well with the loop too. So just for an explanation of what this hyperlapse is and where it comes from, basically a hyperlapse is stitched together photos, often long exposure photos, so that you're getting like the streaks of cars. See, these are all frames of a hyperlapse, and they're going to already be edited in some program. I use Adobe Lightroom CC or Adobe Lightroom Classic, and basically you put all of them in here, one frame each. So that's what this footage comes from. And the reason why it is so unstable, there was wind that night, and also when you only have one frame every 2 seconds, that's a lot of time in between for the camera to shift a little bit. So this is what I'm working with. It's already, some of the coloring is kind of already where I'd like it, because I get to have more control over a hyperlapse. You can edit all the frames and get the right exposure. So back to our reel that we're working on. What I'm going to do is I first need to decide, okay, this is a horizontal 4:3 aspect ratio hyperlapse. It's not vertical. It only fits like about a third of this frame. I can either have it really small in the middle, or I could have it like the other extreme would be it's completely cropped, right? To a completely vertical slice. Or I can have it zoom in or zoom out. So what I'm going to do firstly is I'm going to decrease the speed of this hyperlapse. I already know I'm not going to have it in 60 frames per second like that. And that is going to mean one long shot on the same thing. But I think it's going to be interesting enough that it's okay to have one shot for that long. So I'm actually going to use this stabilization, digital stabilization that's in Final Cut Pro. And I'm going to use inertia cam because that's usually the best one, I'd say. The automatic, I could show you the difference actually as well. Now, if I knew I was going to chop this hyperlapse up into parts and they were really shaky in between the transitions, I would do the cuts before I stabilize because it's going to do each one separate instead of one thing. But since this is one continuous shot, it's fine. So let's actually make this bigger because I know it's a really small part of the screen. So without stabilization, it's like this. That's actually probably how long this is going to be. Something like that. So that's without stabilization. The automatic one on Final Cut is really not the best. You can see all this like warping and kind of aberration in the image. Inertia cam is the best go-to. Smooth cam, it uses like tilt pans to make it look like it's continuous. And you can see that looks pretty bad as well. Because in this case, it's not really the panning of it that's off. So you can see it like jumbling around very strangely. Inertia cam is really the best one overall. And it probably would look overall better if I would actually divide this up. There is something really weird though about Final Cut, which I don't know how to get around, which is that if you do stabilization, you cannot get it to undo that stabilization and only get it to do part of it, which is really quite unfortunate because it'd be nice to be able to check it like that and then not have to make a new library or whatever. But anyway, I'm just going to create a new library to see if I can make this look a little bit better. Basically, it stores the data for the stabilization per each library. All right, cool. So let's make a new project. And I'm going to pull this hyperlapse in. 122. Boop. Then I'm going to pull it in here. Mega love shout out to Fabulous M's Vlogs. Thank you so much, M's. Do you have a premiere or live stream? You can share it here. Everyone make sure you support my good friend, Fabulous M's, and also Ermino, my co-hosts from the other day. M's also was a sponsor for prizes for my birthday live stream, and thank you so much, M's, for that. Make sure everyone you support her. So I'm gonna make this alternate project real quick, and then what I'm gonna do is go back to this other one, and I'm gonna just paste the audio edit that I created in here. Make sure I set this right. Vertical 4K. Okay, you're editing between. That's fine. And then what I'm going to find here is the part of the clip that's going up. And then the part of the clip that stops moving, or relatively speaking. So, I mean, you're talking really small differences here. But you can kind of go back and forth and see where is the frame that it stops moving to the side. It's probably somewhere around here. So I'm going to just cut this, blade it, Command B. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find it, where does it start descending? Okay. This is all stationary. And then somewhere around here, it starts descending slowly. What I like to do is look at the bottom of the frame. That'll show you when something else is being exposed. So it's going to be around here. Again, it's really agonizing to get it completely perfect, so just get as close as possible. So now if I stabilize these parts separately, it should be a little bit better. Although the downside is that there's going to be an aberration between where these cuts happen. But for me, I don't care because I'm going to sync up these cuts to the music, and so it's okay if it changes the framing ever so slightly. Alright, let's stabilize the second part. Sweet. Yahoo! Okay, now let's stabilize this part where it's going down. Sweet. See, that all looks way better because now it's not trying to interpret this whole thing as something with no... Yeah, so it works better if you find your cuts first before doing stabilization in Final Cut. So now I want to see how long should this first clip be. So I want it to happen 2, 3, 4. You want it to change on the beat, get it as close as possible. I like to have it come in slightly after the beat, because when it happens right on the beat or one before, it looks awkward to me. That's maybe a little bit too late. Maybe like there. Two, 3. So, let's see. So, yeah, I have a little bit of extra here because what I want to happen is basically, let's just copy all this stuff over here. I'm gonna paste it in here. The other clips, doesn't really matter that I'm editing between libraries. So I have a little bit of extra that I want because I want it to change right here, but I have a little bit extra, so I can either speed it up, which is going to cut out frames, or, which I think I might actually do. I have an idea here. So I am going to speed this up because I can either do a cross dissolve, which means it's going to smoothly go over. I mean, I could test different ones and show you what that would kind of look like. Let's leave it how it is for the second. Again, I'll probably do more zooming in on this later, but this is just to get them lined up to the where the cuts should actually happen. So 2, 3, 4, next clip, next clip, next clip. That's what it's gonna be like. So this one is a normal clip. So to decide, you're kind of looking at this tower, right? This clip, I approach the tower, which is pretty cool. So let's think. Let's line this up when that new beat comes in. Yeah. So I like to use speed ramps with these. Let's put it on 4x. So I'm going to start it off slow, or not really slow because it's already 400%, but a speed ramp, like these hyperlapses are usually 60 times real life speed, sometimes more, sometimes less, 30 to 120 or so, 30 to what would it be, 90 or so times like real life speed. So 400% is still fairly slow because you're so high up with the drone, like you can't see much. That's how it works. Cool. I'm just here watching, said Ems. Thank you so much, Ems. Yeah, so what I did right here is I did Shift B, which is going to blade or divide the time. Okay, and you can make a time warp effect in Final Cut this way, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is, you can see it's kind of starting the approach here. Now I'm going to see how long should this take up. This is happening after one beat. Cut, cut, and then right there I want the speed ramp to end. So where should it ramp to? I would say I want it to ramp all the way to where the tower is, to where it stops here. But I could also ramp to like just a little bit before. There's a lot of ways to do it. It's kind of hard to find where it stops here because I kept panning to the side. So we go there, hit Shift B again, and now this part's going to be insanely fast, right? And BG Yahoo! Thank you so much, Ermin. So this doesn't usually give you the option. The option to go as fast as you need to go. So what I'm going to do is manually do the custom speed. Guess something really fast. That's actually pretty good. So that's like a good overall way of doing it. So now that I did that, I can show you a couple of options for how to mix this last part. It can be a hard cut like this that cuts off part of the descent. That's option 1. Option 2 is, oop, oh man, it shouldn't be anchored to that. That is why it's best to work on top of this gray part. Always best to work on top of a gap so that you don't have anchor problems with your clips. Alright, so I'm going to work on top of a gap. Cool. This is where this would come in around. That was option 1. Option 2, we speed this up. speed up the descent, which is going to cut out some data. I could add this motion blur correction if I want to on this part. So yeah, that would be. That's just one option. Another option, keep it the same speed, 100%. Or I could even drag it out further and I could make a smooth cross dissolve. So let's see what would happen if I made this really slow. Well, not really slow, but significantly slower, 75%. And then this one, instead of hard cutting in, it starts cross dissolving in. And then by the time this goes away, this is 100%, like this. That's another option. And it's really just preference, which one you like. I, for a long time, really hated cross dissolves, just don't like how it looks. But I've warmed up to it a little bit more. I really think these options all look good. See? That's even another way. But yeah. My only thing with cross dissolve, what I do now, is usually some like extra trickery, which I'll show you later, to make it look a little bit better to me. I actually do like the cross dissolve in this case, just because you're so much closer to the tower, so it kind of helps convey that you're transporting. So obviously I haven't done any. This is going to be like the basics of this whole rail, what we're looking at now. But now we're just going to make things look a lot cooler than what they look right now. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to do some experimental stuff because I want to. So what that's going to be is probably reversing this clip right here, making it extremely fast, like probably over 20x. And I'm going to break the rule, because I think it sounds like a cool rewind sound, this build up. So let's maybe make it 30 times speed and see what we can do here. I'm gonna make these cross dissolve and see if it looks good. And let's see how this would loop as well. So to see how it would loop, basically just gonna cut. Now duplicate everything. Boop. Alright, I'm gonna do something weird here. I want this to be really fast. Really fast, and I wanna do this. Have a reversed. Wait, what? Oh, it already is reversed. Huh, that's weird. It won't let me reverse it when it's 59, 57. Okay. You learn something every day. Okay. Basically, you can't just invert a clip for some reason when it has this speed ramp edit. Alright, this is gonna look a lot better later, I promise. But for right now, it looks a little bit janky. So for now, I'm gonna chop that end part, put it at the beginning, so that the beginning actually looks like this. Alright, and now I'm gonna pick how these clips should be. I mean, I guess before I do that, I should actually color grade this stuff. So to color grade it, and first of all, I'm going to also delete this one that I was doing for seeing how it looped. Shout out to Leonila, Ermino, Fabulous M's. Thank you so much for watching. All right. So to edit this stuff, again, the hyperlapse, I'm not going to really edit it as much. For this footage, I am, because it's straight out of camera. So what I'm going to do here is, firstly, add a color curve to it. I'm going to pull up the shadows from pure black, so it's not pure black. I'm going to pull this down from pure white, so it's not pure white. And then maybe pull this curve just up a little bit. Then I am going to add vibrancy, decrease the vibrancy, which flattens the color range slightly. Add a color wheel. Lower the saturation of the shadow, lower the saturation of the highlight, increase the saturation of the midtones, and I'm going to make the temperature bluer, pretty blue. And I'm going to make the tint slightly green. And then I'm going to make the shadows even more pulled to blue. I'm going to make the highlights pulled towards orange a little bit. And just because I usually like to use it somewhat, I'm going to add some film process. And using the Technicolor System 3 emulation, I'm going to put in not that much, probably 20%. And then you can see how this looks. Well, actually, I'm going to pull up this scope so we can see what's going on here, because most likely I can pull the midtones up here just to add, make it a little brighter since it's nighttime. And then I can show you what it looks like compared to the original. That was the original. That's what it looks like now. This is subjective, so there's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of looks to go for. I just personally like a more washed out night look that's more dragged to the blue. I think it looks better. Not a big fan of the like sickly orange color of a lot of these cities. So I'm just gonna apply the same color grading to this other clip, since it's pretty similar how everything was shot. Not really a big difference, and this is more an effect than anything right here. So make sure I apply it to the part of it that was at the beginning. And then now what I'm going to do after that is start panning these shots. Oops. hold on, let me see here. What was this at? Okay. So what I'm doing here is just seeing where this opacity was at the end of the loop and continuing it where it fades to 0 by the last frame. Boop. And just, yeah. Now I gotta decide on this, how this is gonna be panned. Like how much of this shot do I really want to see? And what I think I'm gonna do for this hyperlapse is make it start where it takes up the whole screen and then zoom out to this. Okay. So here, make it like, it's gonna have to be like 240 or so. I think. Ruby TV vlog, hello. Shout out to you. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so yeah, something like this. So basically keyframed. I think that looks pretty cool. So what it's going to be doing is starts zoomed in, then it zooms out, and then as soon as it gets to the max zoom out, it's going to start zooming in again. And I'm going to keep it small because I just really like this shot. I like the reunion tower in there. I like that edge in there. So don't really want to remove anything from the shot. Just going to make sure that it's centered on the y-axis so it's right in the middle of the screen. And see how this looks. So yeah. So make this bigger so y'all can see it at home. Ruby TV, if you have a new video, a new project, or live stream, then feel free to share it in the chat. So that's what we have so far. I think I'm going to do this crop for the next one. Now on this, I am going to make it zoom in until it covers way, well, I think I'll do it until it kind of converges on where the tower is, maybe. Oh, but it's a different angle. Never mind, I'm not going to do that. Alright, let's go to the last frame of this. And I'm going to make this like 250. So basically it's going to zoom in, transition. I think that looks quite good. Okay. Very cool. So the only thing that I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to color grade this hyperlapse a little bit because it's still pretty dark. So I'm going to go back into my color flow and pull these midtones up a little bit. also going to add a curve that does this a similar thing to what I did before. Lower the top, increase the bottom, and see if we can just have this shot be a little bit brighter. Zoom in here, see what we're dealing with. I'm gonna add film process as well and see what percentage I want it on. Maybe like 30%. So that looks a lot brighter. It's a little bit more crushed, but you can see a little bit of artifacting, haloing in the sky, but I still like this more than what it was. So I'm gonna just apply that also to the other two clips and see how it looks. So I think I'm gonna zoom in, see if it looks cool to zoom in on this one as well. Or maybe should I? Like you can see I like that you can see the train down below. Let's see. Shout out to Leonila. Alright, let us see. So to figure out where I want to zoom into, I'm going to go to somewhere before this stuff starts zooming in so much, or no, fading in, so I can actually see what's going on, even though this is not where I'm going to put the keyframe. I think I could zoom in like this much. I want to keep the train at the bottom, I think, and the ball, the reunion tower in there. So I'm maybe going this much. Another thing to keep in mind is I might need to correct the horizon tilt a little bit on this shot. It kind of looks slightly off. That looks a little bit better. 0.7 tilt, 0.67 negative. So I'm going to now get rid of this. And I'm going to now put this tilt on the whole thing, which means that I actually have to zoom in just a tiny bit to make sure there's no black edges, black around the edges. It's kind of hard to see where it is, but like right there. 101. Just to correct the horizon. So, okay. Let's find this again where I was going to zoom into. I wanted to do something like this. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna undo this. So it's 130% scale and Y X51 and then Y this. So I'm gonna get rid of this keyframe. I don't actually want it there. The whole reason I did that is because it's hard to tell at the end, since the other shot is partially faded in on top of it. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. And then this is going to be 51. Scale is going to be 130. Oh, maybe it was negative. Okay, it's supposed to be negative on the Y. This should not be here though. Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. All right, and then this is something to point out. Put it on smooth, right click on this keyframe, and then put it on smooth, or linear instead of smooth. Now the downside with what's happening is that there's some black revealed because of how it animates. And to show that, I will put something in the background. And then you can see at the top that it's revealing some space. Yeah, it looks like the normal percentage is also not enough. I maybe need like 102.5, something like that. Basically, you shouldn't be able to see any of this orange. So all I'm going to do is just make some other keyframes where it's just staying at the top. There we go. No orange revealed. Perf. Now I can get rid of this. Blobs. So we're getting close to what I'm actually going to use for this. So I might just zoom in more because it's going to zoom out again. So I think I'll have it zoom in quite a bit more. It's just so small a lot of the time. So I either zoom into there, which is cooler, or I zoom into here. Let's think. Let's just see. Let's look at a couple different versions. Make this 0. Let's see how that looks. I have an idea. I'm just testing something real quick. Basically, gonna kind of animate from over here. I'm curious if it will look good. Okay. Alright, I gotta get rid of the smooth because it's revealing the side. Get rid of this smooth as well. Back to linear. Well, actually, kind of like the look of it, but let's just see. So let's see. This one is actually really hard. I kind of put off doing this one because I don't really want to cut out the tower or the traffic. I think I'm going to animate this as well. See what this looks like. Actually, I don't really like that. So let's see what it would be like if it was up here. That is pretty cool. Okay. Because the cool thing is that the train starts at this time, so I want to see what it would look like if I zoomed into this train. Might look way too much, but let's see. Oh, that's not the right timing. Huh. Okay, that's completely not what it was supposed to be. Let's undo. I don't think it's actually going to look cool, but too bad people aren't going to really notice that train down there. I remember what I did wrong. Alright, so this should be what it was supposed to be. Let's see. Is this the right keyframe? No, it's still not the right keyframe. This should be it. But yeah, it's not gonna look good. Let's see. What would happen if I got rid of that one and I got rid of this one? Yeah. How many frames is that even? I think it's too quick. It's crisp, but it's too fast. Let's see what would happen if I did it here instead. don't know. Just messing around, seeing if I can make something cool. I probably should just not try to show this chain. We'll see. I kind of like it. I mean, it's hard to decide on this one. I mean, it looks smoother the other way, but I don't know why it's that far over anyway. Probably again a culprit of the I don't know, why is it that far over though? Why is it going so far over? I just don't get it. Let's see. It's funny because normally I wouldn't add all those janky keyframes because it makes it all jagged, but I kind of like the effect of it. Kind of like an earthquake type effect. Shake effect. I think I'm going to make this drastically zoom in a lot more now since I don't need to keep that train in there since I already showed it earlier. I think I'm going to zoom into where this reunion tower is really large, like right here. See what that looks like. Alright, cool. I think I'm happy with this edit overall. So, now what I would do is make these cross dissolves a little bit cleaner. And how I like to do that sometimes is on this lower clip, the clip that's fading out, I'm going to add a Gaussian, add a keyframe, start it at 0, and then as it starts fading in, this is going to gradually get to where it's very blurred. So I like 70. So you can see there's like blurry shapes instead of clear. I think it's pretty cool. In fact, you can do it on both as well. It adds a cool effect. So I can do it on the incoming clip as well. Start it at blur though. The incoming clip you would start at the blur, and then you the blur go away. So it'll be like this. It's a little bit nicer effect, in my opinion. Something like this. So that's what I'm going to do for now for that blur transition. And then I'm going to do that same thing here. Let's put no blur at first. And then make it like 50. So it's like this. And let's just see what happens if I would do that with this shot also. Start it with blur and then here, no blur. Boom. And oftentimes when I'm working with effects, I like to apply it to a lot of the shot for some consistency, cohesion. So later, you know, when you blur these together where these are blending on normal mode, I could blend them on add or something else so that, because obviously they get kind of grayed out and dim right here. So you can put a color board on that later and fix that. You can also blend them on add mode when they're doing this stuff like this. That way it would be really bright. Just different effect. That's going to stay a lot brighter. This way it's going to get dimmer. You can see how drastically different it would be if I put add on here. It's more of a composite. I think I will do that because I like how that looks with the reunion tower sphere in there. Add. Sweet. See if this blend mode looks better on add as well. Probably will. So I'm doing something a bit strange here. What I'm going to do is basically put an extra copy, whoops, of this hyperlapse that we're fading out from under here. And then because if I'm on add mode, basically it's not going to disappear when we get to the end of this. So instead I want it to disappear like this. When this clap hits, it's going to go away. And it just adds a weird, cool luminance effect. I could go away a little quicker. So now I need to decide, do I want to do the effect of having the Gaussian blurred like copy behind it or not? I'm might not do it on this one. Oh yeah, I forgot that I never stabilized this. I'm gonna just check what stabilization would look like. Pro tip, if you're doing drone work, just try and fly your drone as smoothly as you can. That way you don't have to depend on the digital stabilization later. Because it's an absolutely amazing feeling if you film it smooth enough to where you don't really have to fix much. So yeah, this is pretty stable. It's just a tiny effect. So I'm going to put it on. Oh. Wait, this is not going to be... Oh. It's that. Yeah. Okay, sweet. But it kind of makes me want to... I mean, this is probably getting way too complicated, but I just really like how this reunion... Wait, what? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh yeah, okay. I just really like how the reunion tower ball looks on there. So, let's see. Reverse. Put this on add. Huh. Wait, that's not right, is it? Huh. Wait. Something ain't right. Dang, this is super annoying. How many things are there? Trying to clear all these keyframes. Okay, I think I got them all. Why is it over so far? Shout out to Nicole, Mix Vlog, Leonila Heramis, Nel Miranda Team, Sam.vlog. Thank y'all for watching. I'm just finishing up this edit. I don't know why it won't stay here. It's because the thing is panning. And let's see how long I want to have this in here. I just really like the animation of that reunion tower. Hmm. Grown up, I should actually have it here though. It's gonna make it look really messy. But I don't know. I think it might look cool. Let's see. What? Okay, let's see. Alright, I'm curious here if I could just put a shape mask around the... All I really care about is this sphere. So, this here. On the sphere. Gonna be hard to do though, because moving around. Maybe I just slow this down. Be like 4x. Maybe 6x. And then I can try to follow this around. Basically, just make everything a keyframe in case I edit it. This will be here. Make the feather larger. This should actually be more over here, I think. Oh. Why is it? I don't know why it's still moving that way. I don't think I have another keyframe, but I guess I do. Alright, cool. Let's see how that is. Alright, now let's see what it would look like if I would make this entire thing towards the middle of the shot instead. Huh, wait. I don't know what it... Huh. What is going on here? Oh. I just want to see what it would look like if this was... in the middle of the frame, but something weird is occurring. It's out of here. Let's eat, said Nicole. Eat lunch. I don't know, I am confused. Oh, wait. Okay. Huh, I just don't know what it's doing. Should stay. Yeah, something is glitching out real bad. Thinks I'm telling it to go over there. Let's undo all this. I don't know if I should even have this in here. See it without it. Yeah, it looks better without it. Alright, I'm gonna render this up and then take a quick break. And I can't believe that my stream is not lagging from this. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back. Yo, yo, I'm back from the break. Just a brief break. So, where we were before the break is we basically finish up this reel. At least what I think I'm going to do with it for now. The only other modifications that I'm going to make to it are make some small color grading edits to it once I upscale it. So other than that, we can kind of take a look at what it is right now. Let's see. How do I share it? Oh, that's thumbnail. Something like that. I feel like I could change the I don't know. I kind of want to keep it with train more. Just a little bit more. Because otherwise it's just the tower the whole time, yeah? So what if it's just a little bit more with the train? You know? Alright, let's see. Oh, I like that. Because it snaps back. I like that. Yeah, I do like that. And then again, the only other question would be, do I want to have the stuff filling up the blank space, right? So, for instance, I can have this one would be, I don't know, 240 the whole time. This is kind of how you do it. I should probably show you kind of how you do it anyway. So, it would be like this, but this one would have a permanent Gaussian on it like this. You could also like smash it if you want. It looks pretty weird in this case. In fact, I don't know if I would use it in this case. Let's see. But you basically see it adds a background to it. Things you can do, maybe make it look a little bit better. Like maybe go to this color curve and pull it down instead of up, because you don't really want it to be emphasized. It's kind of better if it's darker. You can also desat, take the saturation down on it so it's not so colorful. Let's see what it looks like. So the interesting effect would be basically right here. If I chose to do it on this one as well, you know, I might, well, never mind. Let's just do it separately again. Basically, when it zooms out like this, what I would do is make a copy that's like, I don't know, something absurd like 450. And then it would go down. Wait, what? It would go down to 240. So it's still the full screen. And then it would go to like here. 40. Oh, wait, what? I put 140. All right. Then add Gaussian blur. Boom. Something's still off. I missed a keyframe. Small keyframe somewhere. This one. Yeah. So you can see it has quite a different effect than what we were doing before, right? So now we filled up the space. It's not wrong or right. I mean, it's just preference. Something that kind of bothers me is I don't really like that green. I just want this to be pure blue. So there are some ways around that. Basically, I can do multiple copies and then blur and then blend it later, which is probably what I'll do. Kind of annoying, but basically I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't like that green in there, so I'm just going to make multiple copies of this blur, and then later I'm going to smooth out these lines that are there. Okay? Yeah. So right now it looks kind of strange, but it's going to look cool. The lines actually don't look bad anyways, but okay. I didn't really desaturate these ones. Maybe I'll at least pull that color curve down a lot on that one. Pull it like a little bit down on that one. And desaturate it a little bit on here. Boop. And a lot on here. All thoroughly unnecessary details, by the way, but still fun. Still fun times. Alright, looking good. So I'm gonna add it. I think I'm gonna add it to basically everything on this one. Because this, I feel like the vibe of this one is kind of like flaunty. It's flaunty. Okay, so color curves down, Gaussian, make it big. I'm gonna do the multiple copy again because I just don't like the green. So nitpicky, but I'm not digging it. I don't like that green. Get out of here. Get that green out of here. Alright. Shout out to 22 million. Ermina on the comics vlog. Leonila. Thank you for watching. Connect with each other. Put your projects if you want. Oh. Has something wrong here. Something is really wrong. It's not supposed to be here. Let's see. Okay. Alright, the only other thing that I'm gonna do is... Alright, this is all one whole iteration, so I'm just gonna bounce this. And again, like I said earlier in the stream, I would not usually spend this much time on one reel or go this slow, but kind of makes it take longer when I'm explaining it, so I'm kind of being more experimental for y'all's benefit too, just showing a lot of different options for things. Oh wait, is this add? Wait, what? Should be add. Alright, cancel. It's supposed to be add, right? Yeah, definitely. Okay. So I'm gonna bounce this, and then once that's a Pink Hand Crew. Pink Hand Crew reporting for business. Yahoo. Oh, I love this computer so much. It's exporting this 4K vertical stuff in like 2 seconds with all this complicated compositing. It's pretty awesome. And somehow, no. Oh, 100, only 100 drop frames this entire 2.5 hour stream. So this is what we have so far. A little too much at times, but I'm digging it. I'm still digging it. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go back to this other library. I am going to make a new project called DR9, which means Dallas Real 9. It's going to be a second iteration. And I'm just going to do a couple things to spoof it up. Wait, spoof it? Make it spick and span? Whatever. Let's pull it in. So, by the way, if your files are like jumbled and you don't do folder organization, I highly recommend you create that habit if you want to get into doing a lot of projects, because eventually it's just madness and you're just wasting all your time. So I always put things in organized folders. They're pretty organized, which is weird because I'm not organized in other things in life. But yeah, just a little tip there. So I'm going to pull this in. I don't think it's really 100% necessary, but I'd usually keep the original audio below it and mute the clip audio. So now what am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to Gaussian blend these parts, these lines of this stuff. I mean, I don't really have to, but I do think it looks slightly better. A small thing, but yeah. Basically, you add a shape mask, make it completely rectangular, and then firstly start it out with the full thing, because you don't need to reduce anything. Alright, and then keyframe on everything. Go to where the thing comes in that's multiple versions, which is here. Basically, we could start here. Alright. And then as it scales down, scale down with it. Goes to where it reaches its smallest point. Okay. So now you can see you don't see those hard lines. Alright, so a couple more things that I have to do though. Basically, I don't want it to blur the edges of this. So make it go grow up with the image as the image grows, like that. And then when that new part hits, all right, make sure that's there, and then we go down, and then as it grows, follow it again. And I'll have to be creative when it comes to this part. So actually, wait, no, I won't really have, I don't think I'll have to be, because yeah, let's just make it go beyond the bounds of the whole thing. So that's just a small thing, but it just makes it look a lot cleaner. No lines in the blur. Sweet. Alright, now the other small things that are optional that I'm going to put in here are going to be this pseudo motion blur plugin. Definitely optional, but if I compare with without, I tend to prefer slightly more with. So let's see. I haven't been using it for those parts, but I have on some. So basically, if you wanted to, you could have this be blurred. So let's just render, I'll show you what it looks like with that on there 100%, and then I'll show you what I like to do with that. It's a small difference, but if you see frame by frame, it kind of, well, it just makes it motion blurred. It's a small difference. If it's without it, it's like this. With it, it's like this. It's more of a subconscious thing. It's not that noticeable, but it does make a difference. So I'm going to make another layer of this on top with no wait, I need the shape mask, I guess. And I'm going to, I just like to ease it in and out of the motion blur. So basically start this at 100 and then go to 0 here. That way the blur kind of transitions in. And then want it to go away here. Like this. And it's just preference. I don't really want to add it on the other one, even though that's a pretty quick zoom out too. And I could add it, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna just leave that stuff how it is. I could also add it on that part. Where I do want to add it is right here when it does this thing. Whoops, putting it in the wrong spot. Okay, there. And sometimes if you're zooming in too fast, it can actually look bad. So I do need to check and see if it looks good. But what I would probably do is right here, be 100% opacity, and then after a few frames, it's going to be 0. And you'll see, like, that's kind of on the verge of being bad looking because there's too much distance between each frame, but we'll see. Should be 100, so see what this looks like. Let's render this part and see. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It could go either way, but I ultimately lean towards liking it. Again, this is like fake motion blur. It digitally creates copies of it and kind of trails it. And I'm going to do it again when it snaps right here. Okay, it's slowly going. So somewhere in here, I'm going to do it again. Make this 0. Alright, see how this is. Alright, render. So there's two things you could do here. It's like you either keep this clean and there's a lot going on, or you blur it and it looks smoother, but it, you know, well, it's blurred. So let's see what it looks like. Alright. It probably is gonna look, oh, loves you. Meow. How are you? Loves you. It's good to see you. Just waiting for this to render so I can see if I like this. I probably will like this, just judging from the preview. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it looks better. Yeah, it's only going to do this thing, which is an issue. So, okay, the way that I can get around this, which is kind of annoying, is I put this here. Huh, why is it still going dark though? Oh, maybe because... Oh, wait. Shouldn't be getting dark, right? Whoa. Whoa. I don't feel like it should be getting dark. That's weird. Oh. That why? I'm so confused. Why is it still getting dark even though there's something after it? Hmm. Alright. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Good, you? I'm doing good. Just decided to do some video editing on stream instead of by myself like I always do it. Need to figure out... Don't want it to go dark there. I need to just do some weird patch here. I think I know what to do. It's a little bit janky. Basically, just reset this one and put it on add. And it's gonna over brighten it, but might look cool as an effect as well. Let's see. Reset. Because I do think I want it to be bright at the beginning and end. So then add can go down to like 0 here maybe. 0 here. Alright. Now that y'all see me edit, you can see how nitpicky I am about doing this stuff. So this should just be a preview, and then let's hope that I actually did this properly. This should be 0 until the very end, okay? And then this should be 0 for the whole thing. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Wait, how old am I now? 32. 32 crew. Stepping up on you. Your birthday's coming up also. Loves you. In 1 month. We'll be just lurking, kinda busy here. Sounds good. Good to see you. Alright. Let us see. Let's check out this preview now. See what we're working with. The only question now is, I don't know what that weird aberration was, but it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to be using this. Nice drone shots. You have TikTok? Yes, I do. It's this. Oh, I'll just put what my username is on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Follow for follow, bro. Alright, so what was I about to do? I was gonna do something here, and let me make sure. Why does it look so dark? Okay, I guess it's good. Okay. Oh yeah, I was thinking if I should motion blur this part. I think I most likely should, because I think it just always makes it look cleaner compared to not. Where does it start? Transition. Right here. Alright. Let's see. So basically I would go 100, 0, and then keep it at 0 until the transition's completing. This on 100, right? And then just render that. You can go live to there. Yeah, but I need more followers. I think you have to have. I thought you had to have like 1,000 followers. I have like 20 followers. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Help me go viral. Alright. So, just waiting on this to render. Probably small difference, but I think this is going to look better if it's blurred. And then this iteration is going to be complete. I'm just going to have to do some weird editing stuff real quick like. Chop it up. Serve it with the side of French fries. Alright, just waiting on it to render real quick. Alright, sweet. Let's see what. Not even that big of a difference, but just a little bit smoother. Alright, I think it's good. I'm gonna export this version of it. And then, just for fun, I'll keep going with the iterations, because there's just a couple small things that I would like to do. I don't. This is just really one little small thing. I'm just gonna go through the whole thing and look at the Luma brightness. Wow, loves you. You have a lot of followers on TikTok. Ayan. Alright, this is almost exported. The good thing about this version of it is we can kind of look at the loop real quick. So let's do that. That shows up, right? Oh my god, I can't. I'm pretty sure that shows up. Ain't it there? Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's good. Okay, sweet. So this one will kind of show the loop. So yeah, then you could just ignore that other part because it's messed up and not meant to be in there. The only reason why I had it in there twice is because we're gonna create the loop out of that. We'll create the beginning out of the end of that one. So let me close some libraries in here. Unnecessary. Make a new project. And let's see. I just thought of doing like a glow effect at the one of the transitions, the one that's kind of dim, that's in the middle. That's pretty much all I'm gonna do to this now. I'm like happy with what it looks like. Alright, sweet. So what I want to do is take the very first frame right here of the loop and then put that at the beginning and have that on top. So now we're going to go to the that out, and that's all that I need from this second half. So now we have the loop. This is pretty much the loop. So yeah, literally the only thing I was thinking about doing was just this part. Making more glow. Make it more glowy. How? With King Luma Radiance. Only $24.99 or whatever it is. So basically, during this transition, and I might actually make it come in a bit early. Actually could be kind of cool to use on this part. Kind of make it animate to this like this. Wait, how is this happening? I don't know if I actually want it. Let's see. So you can kind of see the difference. It kind of, it makes it a bit hazy and glowy, which is kind of cool for an effect. You can make it really hard instead of soft. I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 40 softness, and then definitely like the prism effect. Make the glow saturation a little bit more than what it naturally is, just to make it dramatic. And then maybe make the effect less overall. Just make it subtle. Because that's actually not the main place I wanted to use it. Right there is where I want to use it. So starting here. Just because I want this part to be bright. Yeah. Don't need to use it on all these parts, but just see if I like it. Sweet. Alright, and then if I want... I don't know if I need the glow here though. I think I'm good. Let's just render this. And this may much be all I want to do on this stream. Then I'm gonna upscale it probably off stream and finish it up. Actually, let's just see the loop again. Sweet. I'm happy with it. So let me render the final thing and call it a day. Shout out to Loves You, shout out to Ermino, shout out to Nicole Makes Vlog, Jay, Leonila, IMSUSL, Ruby TV, and everyone else who was watching who didn't type anything. Oh, Nel Miranda. Thank you all so much. Wonder what would... Wait, no, it's gonna lag if I do it. Oh, I have an idea though. Let's see. I have a goof idea. Attempt to put it in here. I need to make a thanks for watching end screen too. So many things to do. I was gonna try to play this. Put this on the screen. See how to do it. Oh, it's not on loop. Oops. Sorry about that. Probably just destroyed everyone's ears. I didn't I didn't know the volume was playing on there. It's like Uber distortion. Sorry about that. Should be a lot more chill now. RIP headphone users. pretty much done what I came to do on this stream. Now I'm just gonna chill here and see if anyone comes through that has any questions or any other way that I can be of assistance when it comes to editing shorts. So I'm open to any questions. Let me see how this looks. Keep the stream going and just see if anyone does anything. I guess it's a bad time. I did not even download the app. I'm so confused. What's this hot garbage? That makes absolutely no sense. What the heck is wrong with the Wi-Fi? Okay. I don't get it. Internet messed up.